Hi there, I'm Stefan Kostić. I'm the CEO of IPification, a company that's revolutionizing the way of how we are authenticating our mobile devices. There has been a lot of issues lately with the current authentication methods that exist, which mostly resides around SMS one-time codes, which we are all familiar with. And they are causing a lot of friction, not only on the user experience side, because a lot of times SMS doesn't arrive, it interrupts the user journey. But most importantly, there's a big issue with the security side of things, because SMS was never intended to be used for this purpose. And that's why we believe the IP-based authentication is definitely a next thing and the next direction in the mobile world. Basically, for authenticating user identity today, there's a possibility to use a different number of factors. Mostly we are talking about the three factors, what I like to call them: a possession factor, something user has; a knowledge factor, which we are all familiar with, 40 years old passwords and etc. We like to use, and unfortunately a lot of websites and mobile apps still leverage them. And the third one, which is growing in popularity, is what they call the inherence factor, or the biometric solution: Face ID, Touch ID. We are hearing also Apple introducing vessel IDs and so on and so forth, which are kind of inherently connected to the user itself, right? So, and the current advice in terms of a strong customer authentication coming from some of the big fintech players like Visa and MasterCard, which are considered to be a leader in the user verification guidelines in the fintech and banking industry, is to always use 2 out of 3 factors. And what is interesting is that their latest guidelines are saying that possession factor should be one of the factors always used because of its convenience and the security side. And then the service providers should pick one of the other 2, whether a biometric or the knowledge factor. And what we are seeing is that the trend is going passwordless. So that means that they are adopting a lot of biometric solutions which are considered to be very user-friendly, but still on the flip side, it's connected to the potential privacy intrusion and what happens if someone potentially steals my biometric data. IPification identified a niche in the possession factor verification area, where we have seen the opportunity to work with telecom providers around the globe to provide what we like to call the best possession factor verification out there in terms of verifying 3 possessions through one API call. And it's something that only telecom operators through their infrastructure are able to do. So in the mobile world, references speaking, we are able to verify the SIM card, device, and phone number through one API call. And this is something that makes this solution and this factor a super strong one when it comes to overall digital identity verification out there. When we are talking about introducing new methods of authentication, there's always a trade-off, as they like to say, between the user experience and security. What I'm happy to say is that IPification really managed to blend those 2 things. So we do provide a seamless, or what they like to call a frictionless user experience without compromising the security. But not only the security, there's a very important trend these days, and the third element in the equation, which is a user's privacy. And I'm happy to say that the IPification, as long as it keeps the seamless security and authentication in place, it also protects the user's privacy from the design up. It's really important space for everybody, and it's kind of opening up a new opportunity for telecoms to come back in the cradle of digital revolution. How we work with them is we basically provide a whole platform which they can integrate in a very fast way, and then we work on a standard revenue share models where the third parties such as enterprises in the banking, fintech sector, in the e-commerce space, ride-hailing, gaming space, etc., utilizing these APIs to verify their users. They pay for these authentications in a similar way as they pay for their A2P SMS, and then the big portion of the revenues are passed on to telecom operators through the use of their infrastructure. And yeah, I mean, we have worked with some of the leading banks in Southeast Asia. We have been working with some of the leading music streaming application, fintech wallets. We have 2 big crypto exchanges also coming on board. So yeah, happy to spread out the ecosystem globally in many different segments. We have an internal plans on 2 sides, right? Like when we are talking about the supply side and working with telecoms, we call it road to 1,000. There's roughly 1,000 operators out there, and we like to say that we are just starting, as we partner with roughly 5% of this number only. And then on the enterprise side, we are really looking at scaling up to much bigger heights and basically build the ecosystem in all 20 plus markets that we've enabled the connectivity with telecom operators, and bring this technology to basically all the mobile app developers out there, so they can benefit the good user experience, security, and the privacy protection.